How you doing?
Back again.
He is. How about
I'm
it?
good. I'm good. I'm alright, to be fair, for once. Yeah, I'm just cold. It's really cold.
Yeah, it's getting cold now.
Yeah.
We're getting to the winter times, aren't we?
Let's just start putting the heating on, but I don't want to.
And bills. Let's get into it. Hello everybody, welcome to the Rated Podcast, the podcast where we speak about all things music and popular culture. I'm Carl CNN.
And I'm Olivade.
And today we have a few things on our, hot topics list. First and foremost, Normani. We haven't really heard much from her recently, but she's been dribbling in and out of the news with her random statements. But she basically teased like dopamine videos. So she was talking to Us Weekly, US Weekly. I always wonder if they're called Us or US Weekly, but I'm going to go with Us Weekly. At the launch of Law Roach's How to Build a Fashion Icon. And she revealed basically that she's excited to release more from Dopamine. So she said that in regarding the tour, she said that those conversations are basically happening. And then she said that, talking about other stuff, she said, yeah, they have music videos up. Sorry, so she said, we have music videos up our sleeves too. I know that my fans have been really waiting on that, but a tour is definitely in the works. What do you think about this, Ollie? I'm really intrigued to get your thoughts.
I feel like, why is it in the works like how many months after the album's dropped? I didn't get it, because I feel like this should have been done as soon as the album dropped. The video should have been, we should have had a video already. She should have been doing performances already, especially around not concert season, award season. And she and then after that she should have announced the tour. So I feel like she said it's in the works and there's no specific date, so that could mean January, that could mean March, that could mean whenever. And I think I think I speak for everyone when I say that I don't think a tour would probably do well for her a year later after the album, because I think everyone's forgotten about the album anyway, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I can't lie, I haven't listened to it since it came out. Yeah, really? I know you did like some of the songs, but do you still listen to, what songs did you like? Was it all yours you liked?
That's the only song that I listened to.
Okay. At least you still listen to it, I guess.
No, that song's a bag, I don't care.
Yeah, as soon as it came out, I enjoyed like a few songs. But then now I don't really listen to it anymore. It made me like Wildside again. And then I kind of was a bit like expecting more from Candy Paint. So yeah, but I can't lie, I haven't gone through my phone and been like, yeah, let me listen to Normani. But I think a tour is always good, like as a support, to support projects. But I feel like these conversations should have happened a bit earlier. So like maybe like put out your album, just go on tour straight away and just do it like that. At least so you recoup some money or you make some money from the project. And maybe some people will like enjoy the album more from you touring and seeing you live performing the songs. I think, personally speaking. And number two, music videos, I'm really surprised at that. So all this time we've been sitting on stuff, no video was made. Even for Candy Paint, so there was no music video. The song that was getting so much buzz, nobody thought, hey, let's actually put together a video. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really understand what's going on with her, like, over there at that label that we love so much. But it just feels like the ball has been dropped. Yeah, I don't know. The momentum doesn't seem like it's there. I don't know if it's her, if it's them, or who it is, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like these things should have been in the process from the beginning, but hey ho.
I mean, if she drops a video for Candy Paint like in January, isn't that just so pointless? It's like over and done with now. Like no one's going to be speaking about that anymore.
It's been like almost, when did that one come out? In summer or June?
Yeah, I'm sure it was like June, July, maybe.
I don't remember, honestly, for the life of me. Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like, to be honest, I welcome any videos, and maybe because I think with certain songs, like videos helps to reignite like interest in the song, if that makes sense. So like,
that's true.
It will probably help with Candy Paint. If there's like a viral dance in the video or something that goes viral, then it could reignite success in the album. So I wouldn't be opposed to it because she's a really good dancer and performer. So yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's good to just kind of move on to a new project or just start again, or just, and then maybe plan that out for the next project.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, I know the Normani sounds like going to come and crucify me, but I just think it's time to, I think it's just time to move on. I think Dopamine came, it didn't come very well, and it didn't really get received well.
How do you say it didn't come very well?
It didn't come very well.
I'm screaming.
Just because we had like the whole build up to it was just long and drawn out, and then when we finally got it, me personally, when we finally got it, I was very, very underwhelmed, and I think I'm not alone in thinking that. So I think, I just think it's time to start again. Maybe she needs to think about maybe switching labels, or I know we said before it's not fully the label's fault, but maybe their partnership's not really working. So I think maybe she should like shop elsewhere and then just release another project for next year with a different like rollout plan, and just a whole new like perspective on the album. I'm still like so not annoyed, but like, remember that interview she did? I don't know if you saw it, but when she was like, they were like, she was like, what's your favorite song off Dopamine? And then the interviewer was like, oh, Take My Time. And then she was so surprised. She was like, really? That song? She was like, that's like my least favorite song. And I was like, you really need to figure out what the girls actually want, because it's not what you want. I tell you that for free.
And I think it's not good to be disparaging about your own body of work. I think also because then it kind of like leads to a disconnect with music and the fans. Because I think if you like, I think not so soon as well. Because I think people will release projects and music and stuff, and then maybe years later they might be like, I don't really like that song, or I don't really like that. You know what I mean? But not like months or weeks after you put out the album, you're like, I don't like that. Like for example, I remember Kelly Rowland was on Andy Cohen's show, Watch What Happens Live, and I think Candy wrote on Bugaboo, I think, for Destiny's Child. And this is obviously like 20 plus years later. She said she doesn't actually like that song that much. And then like, so artists do that like years later, but not, I can't imagine like when they've released Bugaboo, they're going to ask them like, oh, she's going to be like, I don't like that song, like straight after, you know what I mean? So like, and even the clip you mentioned, he didn't prompt and say, like, oh, what song do you not like? I don't think. He just asked, like, she asked sorry, said their favourite song in it, So there was no need for the negativity, but I don't think you should cast negativity over your music and your project, because then people are going to be like, well, you know, you don't like your music, so why should I like it? Kind of thing. So
if that was me, like, and I didn't like a song off my album, I would not tell you. I would ride for that song so hard until like a couple of years later I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't really like it. But at the time I dropped it, I'll be like, no, this is the best song in the world.
Yeah, you gotta talk your shit.
So
about your music, and your albums. Even like for example, Nicki with Starships, that song was everywhere and she performed it everywhere, and it's only years later she was like, I don't like that song. I was like, oh, I would have never known, because she performed the hell out of it. So you know,
she really did.
Now I don't blame her for not liking it. So but I wish Normani success, and we'll see what happens with music and like videos and whatever comes from it. But I personally feel like they should just kind of start again and have a better plan going forward. And I hope her parents are well and she's good mentally and everything. Sending her positive vibes for the Normani fans come and attack us on the comments.
I know, that's what I was thinking. They're going to come and crucify us.
Please, it's encouragement, it's constructive. Please. Next on my list. Oh, sorry, you're going to jump in?
No, I just wanted to mention, because I saw earlier, because we didn't mention Nicki Minaj, her Pink Friday 2 tour is the 5th highest grossing tour for a black female artist. 4th. Sorry, come and correct me. Yes. Come and correct me. I just wanted to point that out and just say, like, that's actually a really good feat. The fact that she's still selling out tours after all these years is actually really commendable. No matter what people say about her, I think she is still doing her thing. I saw some comments, they were saying that it just proves that, I don't know how true it is, but they were saying it proves that most of the hate she gets is online and not actually like with her fan base and stuff, and like in real life, because people are still buying tickets and whatever and still supporting her. So yeah, I wanted to point that out as a commendable feat.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I told you the right statistic now, because I feel like it might not be right, but I know she was like,
it's 5.
Yeah, you probably are right in terms of rappers.
No, it was like, it said female artist, because Rihanna and Beyonce was on the list.
Oh, okay. It was Rihanna, Beyonce, SZA. No, wait. Beyonce was there, SZA was there, and then 2 other, maybe one of them. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, 4 Fourth or fifth?
Let, let
Yes,
me get
let's go.
wait, let me get the facts straight.
Okay, pull it up for me,
before we
friend.
go,
Pull it
go,
up.
let me pull
Pull
it
it
up.
up.
Let me pull
Prove me wrong.
it before we come and get dragged in the comments.
I know they want everything to be
Okay.
right.
Okay, it says Pink Friday 2 World Tour now ranks among the top 5 highest grossing hip hop tours ever. But then
Okay.
it says, then Nicki Minaj is officially the 5th black woman in history to gross over 100 million in a single tour. And that's with Tina Turner, Beyonce, Rihanna, and SZA. So it's
Okay,
two
there we go.
separate
So there's two
statistics.
separate
Yeah.
things. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, friend. Love that.
Yeah.
Pull that up. Chop it up. Love that. Oliver reading the stats. I'm here for it. Three
Yeah,
snaps for you, friend.
right.
Yeah. Moving on to UK news. I don't feel like we talk about UK people very often, so
No,
this
we
is
really
quite
don't. Yeah.
yeah. But young Philly, YouTuber, comedian, and also musician. I guess I didn't really listen to his music like that, but I've seen he's dropped music, so okay, cool. So he was charged with SA in Perth, which is in Australia. So he was basically taken to police custody for allegedly R-ing and choking a woman at a Perth hotel, Australia again. He was arrested a little while ago, and he's faced court in Perth, and he got granted conditional bail, but he was ordered to surrender his passport, and he can't leave Western Australia. I think the trial's in December or something. So I kind of woke up to that. It was the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes, and I was like, "That's crazy," because like I basically like went to primary school with him. So this is me chasing clout. Not really. But kind of. Yeah, he went to my primary school, so I was just kind of like, "Oh, this is." I don't know. I felt a bit torn. I was a bit like, like when it comes to essay and allegations, I'm always like, I can't like, I don't want to ever like not listen to a woman or someone who's accusing somebody of something. Also, like I keep hearing little details to the story, so I'm a bit like unsure. But let's see how it plays out, because if there's evidence and there's everything, then obviously he's going to be prosecuted. I'm a bit funny about certain things, certain details, but yeah, what do you think about the whole situation, though, generally speaking?
When I saw it, I was actually really surprised because I actually watched some of his videos on Channel 4 with Chunks and like Nella and stuff. And he always just came across as like such a nice, like normal guy. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, not Young Philly. Because I honestly would never have expected anything like this to happen with him. So yeah, obviously, like you said, we need to wait and to see if it's like proven right or whatever. But I just think it's just, if it is true, I think he's just very silly, especially in today's climate, to even like, I don't even know what happened, or I don't really know the details of the story, but just the fact that we've got like the whole Diddy thing going on, and then we've got all these like R. Kelly and all these other allegations coming forward, for you to be putting yourself in that position is so stupid. Like it's definitely like a career killing moment, I would say, because I think after this, there's no way he's going to come back from it, like at all. So
Even yeah, go for it.
I was just gonna say, even Chunks has kind of distanced himself a little bit, because people were like reaching out to Chunks to make a statement. He was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna say anything now until the court case is gone." From what I saw of the video, I feel like his like, I don't know, maybe I was reading too much into it, but it looked like Chunks was like so disappointed in the whole situation, because they were like really close friends as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, and I feel like it's one of the situations where, like, bro, like, don't die for Nash. Like, it's never that deep. You're a celebrity, and like, women will throw themselves at you, quite literally. So there's no need for you to be forceful or to be aggressive or to, you know what I mean? If that's the situation, there's no need for any of that, because again, like, you have money, and some women will just sleep with you for the basis that they could potentially get something out of it. So you don't need to be so pushy. You know what I mean? Money talks at the end of the day. Like, I heard he makes like 700k a year and stuff. So I just feel like it's just a shame if it is true. If not, it's still a bit damaging, because obviously like a lot of brands that he's worked with have now like kind of iced him out, like dropped him, like the deals and sponsorships and that kind of thing are being cut off and severed. They don't want to associate with him. Like, so he's obviously losing out on brand deals, sponsorships, money. So that's another thing. So like, even if the allegations are not true, sometimes you're still like, you still take damage to your reputation, unfortunately. So like, yeah, but like Chunk said, even with him as well, I was thinking like about whether he's gonna say nothing or not, because I feel like sometimes when you speak about certain things, like for example, like the whole stuff, we never mentioned it, but the stuff with Shxtsngigs, like when you make statements, sometimes your statements are taken really incorrectly. People will like pick at things you didn't say, things you didn't mention. So like, I was kind of a bit worried about Chunks and what he would say, because I feel like he could have got torn apart if he said anything in support of him. If he didn't denounce anything, he could have got torn apart. So like it was a bit of a line to, a bit of a shaky line. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens anyway at the end of the day. I hope it's not true, and I hope that he's able to kind of like be vindicated and stuff. But if that is the case, then
Yeah. While we're here, we might because we never actually spoke about it, so we might as well speak about the Shxtsngigs thing as well. Just briefly, because that was a whole thing. It's kind of blown over now, actually. To be fair,
yeah.
What were your overall thoughts on what happened? Do you think what they did was wrong? Or
So yeah, I try to put myself into perspective of like if it was me and you. So like you're James, and I'm he's next. He's like that's a bit like that. And I was thinking, if we were in this position, what would we have done? And I feel like sometimes it's difficult. I will say that it's difficult to sometimes spring into action when like you're being attacked or when something's derogatory being said. So sometimes like someone might say something to you, and you might not be expecting it, and then you just kind of like go along with what they're saying, and it's like when you get back home, you're like, what the flip did I just sit through and experience? So there's that one side of it, but then I also feel like they were going on to a podcast that they know. I'm sure they did their research and know how controversial Mr. Schulz is. So I'm sure that they, and I just kind of felt like nothing did them any favors in the sense that when they were talking about black women, or when Andrew was speaking about black women disparagingly, I was kind of thinking, oh my god, this is your main audience, especially in America. Like I've seen their shows, and I think that most of the audience is black women. Over in the UK, I think it's different. The audience is kind of mixed, I would say. But I feel like in America anyway, the audience is... So when they were talking, again, when they spoke about, like, I think they said there was no baddies in Atlanta or something, and I was just thinking to myself, that's such an interesting statement to make. So you mean in the whole of Atlanta, you didn't see one, like, pretty, like, girl or something? So I was just thinking to myself again, like, these comments have been, like, kind of edging along. So yeah, I don't know. I was a bit like, oh, man, I kind of felt like they just kind of dug themselves in a hole. And I think that the reason why a lot of people like them is because they didn't seem to be the typical toxic masculine guys. But then it kind of seemed with the recent stuff that was the situation. So yeah, but what did you think anyway overall of the stuff?
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think it blew out of proportion. Not proportion, but it blew up because, yeah, like you said, everyone thought of them as like the nice guys. Like no one ever thought they would say anything like derogatory or even like be involved in a scandal like that. So it was kind of weird to see. But I think you're right. The first point you said was right, because I was listening to one of the podcasts I listened to. They're like two black drag queens in America, and they were on Amber Rose's talk show one time, on her podcast, sorry, and so they were like sitting there, and then she was like making some she made a colorist comment, and then one of them said, "Oh, I think he said something like, oh, that's not the case," or something, and then like changed the subject because he was like, I'm not going to be involved in any scandal. So I feel like even though it's hard and in the moment to like call them out, because you don't want to call out someone on their own podcast, really.
Yeah.
I think there are skills and tricks you can do. Like you can just be like, oh, I'm not going to speak about that, or just move on, or move the conversation on if you know it's going to be like controversial. Because I'm sure they were sitting there thinking, they must have in their head they must have thought that something was going to come of this, or maybe in the moment they didn't. But if you're sitting there and someone's saying something like bad or in any way like derogatory, in my head I'll be thinking, oh shit, this is not gonna go down well, let me just distance myself away from it.
Yeah.
Just like even just now, like even when we're speaking on this podcast, we like to shout the word alleged all the time because we don't want to be like we don't want to be accused of anything. So I just think, yeah, I don't know, maybe when you're like famous and you've been doing it for a while, you kind of forget about those things because you kind of get comfortable, I guess. So you're just sitting there thinking, oh, nothing's gonna come of this. But yeah, their apology video though was so terrible. I'm sorry. It wasn't great.
It wasn't good. I think you're right as well. Like in terms of like distancing yourself from certain conversations. So like, yeah, I feel like after a while he was going in, and then it was like, okay, like this is the point where I can just say, you can just say something like, you love black women, like there's no disrespect to them, whatever. Like, can we move on? Whatever the situation is, but you're not getting involved in that. Like you can say stuff like that. You can laugh maybe. Okay, I wouldn't. Okay, we could laugh and just be like, I'm not getting involved in this. Next, like that's what I probably would have done. Been like, okay, this is getting a bit much. Now let's change the topic. Yeah. What's next? And then apparently they didn't want to cut out those parts of the video, so I don't think they really thought anything was wrong with that, which is kind of crazy to me. If they didn't think. But they apparently told Andrew is a snitch and a snake as well. Anyway, he was like that they asked him to remove certain things, but they didn't ask to remove that. I was thinking this man has made it even worse for you. He disparaged you. He told James that he's a double slave because he's Irish and he's black. And then I was just sitting there thinking, good damn, now he's even digging the hole for you even more, digging your grave for you because he told the world that he didn't even try to delete the part about the black women that he was talking about them. So I was just like, damn, okay. So yeah, and the apology video wasn't very direct. That's the thing I was talking about. So like even with Chunks, obviously it wasn't him, but like I felt like if he said too much, it would have been like, you're defending your friend who's like, you know, apparently done this thing, you're terrible. Or it's like, oh, he's not speaking on it, he's complicit. So it's like it's either, you know, they've got media training, they've got PR. I don't know like what the PR people said. They didn't even address the audience. They just kept saying our audience, our audience. They didn't mention black women or anything. And I just kind of thought, okay, like be direct, because I was thinking they're going to tear this apart. And lo and behold, they got torn apart. They deleted the apology video. Now they're just pretending nothing happened and moving forward. So
so after the apology video disappeared, I saw on their YouTube they just released a video like it was normal. I was like, okay, we're moving on, I guess.
Moving on. Full steam ahead.
Moving on.
Yeah.
But I definitely think now they probably will limit themselves on going to other people's podcasts. I think because I think they should.
Especially for like Andrew, I just thought like it was all kind of random because I know they were doing an American tour. So when I saw them, like they were all two black girls when they were talking about them not being baddies in America, and I was in Atlanta, sorry, and there were two black. I can't remember the podcast name, but there were two black girls they were with, and I was just thinking, okay, like that makes sense to me. You lot going on other people like similar like-minded podcasts, whatever. But Andrew Schulz, it just didn't seem like the right audience for them. It just kind of seemed like one of those things where you know you get invited to a space and you should decline because it's not your like. There's not your audience. That's what it felt like to me. But I just
yeah. I was just gonna say like if we ever got invited to like let's say like Joe Rogan's podcast, which we probably never will be, but if we did, I probably wouldn't accept it. I'll be like, it's not for me. I'm sorry, it's not for me. No matter how much views and stuff you'll get, I really don't care. Yeah. I am not going on that man's show. So yeah, I think we need to learn to say no sometimes.
That's it. I think. And they're at the point where I feel like you guys are not where you're like getting like 10, 15 views in your videos. Like you guys make millions and thousands and whatever, and thousands, hundreds of thousands from your videos. So you're at the point where you can actually be choosy with the content you decide to make and who you work with. So I don't think everything is for everybody. And if they said no to him, I'm sure that another door would open for another American podcast or whatever to invite them on, as they were already touring anyway. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So yeah, that's I guess just in giggles. I wish them the best. I think they're just going to move on and not pretending nothing happened. And I guess that's the best course of action because I think it's kind of where they're at the moment. Is like anything they say will be held against them. So it's best to just move on and not just
move on.
To be fair, I also just wanted to mention. Sorry, random, but like. Glorilla has a new album called Glorious. Preceding that though, she has a song called Hold On. And I just thought it's random, but like she originally released a snippet, and in the snippet she basically said, "Oh, you must not know just what you started. Me, my bitch is retarded. R word." And then she got a lot of flack for that. I just thought to mention this because I thought it was kind of cool what she did, and because she got kind of backlash for using the word retarded because it's derogatory towards people that are less abled. The R word, I'll start saying now. She changed the lyrics, and I thought like that was really clever of her. Like she put something out, got a bad backlash. She just instantly went to the studio and changed the lyrics. So she changed it from "Me and my bitch is retarded" to "Me and my bitches go gnarly." And I just thought, Glorilla, I love that. That's how you do. And maybe she wasn't educated or she didn't know, or somebody explained to her, you know, the R word is not a good word to use in your music or it's derogatory. And she said, "I'm gonna go to the studio and change the line." And I said, glorious.
Yeah, that is good. Beyonce did that with Renaissance. Do you remember?
Oh, what was it again?
It was "Break My Soul." No, not. It was on Heated. No, it was on Heated, and she said the word spaz, but she changed it to word bouncing on that ass because she was a spazzing on that ass.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she?
Yeah. And she changed it to bouncing.
We love people who are just like that.
And the thing with Beyonce, yeah, she didn't even say anything about it. She just said, "Oh, I'm going back. I'm going to change the word, and that's it. take it as it is," which I think is cool. I don't think as long as you accept it, change it, and move on, you don't have to make it a whole thing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's it. I love that. Like, you know, you get educated and you learn that, you know, people take offense to certain things. And you're like, you know what, let me change this. And that's it. I love that. So well done to Beyonce and Glorilla. And we can talk about her album another time because I haven't listened to it properly. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll listen to it and we can do a review.
Yes. So guys, thank you for listening. We appreciate and watching as well. As per usual, if you're watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. If you're listening on Spotify, please share with your friends, give us ratings on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We appreciate it. And follow us on Instagram, we're at The Rating Podcast, and my personal Instagram is at CarlCNN.
And I'm at Ollie Vade.
And we'll talk at you next time.
Be shy. Bye.